We continue to preview the 2025 college volleyball season. Our stop today is New Orleans, where we get to visit with Coach Pat Kendrick, heading into our 9th season as the head coach of the XULA Gold, the Xavier University of Louisiana Gold volleyball team, also the athletic director too. We may mention that again here in just a moment. Coach, last year really quickly, 17-15 in 2024, 13-3 in conference play. Tell us just a little bit about last season.
Well, we had overall a good season in the conference. We had some nice things happen. Taylor Parker was Player of the Year. Cam Udenham was Freshman of the Year. Both of them made the All-Region team. Taylor was an All-American for us, and so overall it was a good season. We didn't finish as well as we would have liked. We ended up losing to Our Lady of the Lake in the conference semifinals, which is a team we had beaten. I guess the last 3 years in a row in the conference final. So, overall, it was a decent season for us.
Well, and I know that's a little bit of a disappointment right there, Coach, but a solid conference season as well. Conference makeup is going to look a little bit different in the future. We'll hit that in just a moment. Coach, you bring a lot of experience to the table. Again, heading into your 9th season there at Xavier, but also a Division I coach for a number of years too. Or your programs, what does the spring look like?
Well, luckily we're in a situation where we're close to some NCAA Division I schools. Xavier's an NAIA school, but we're down the street from Tulane, University of New Orleans, Louisiana Lafayette isn't that far away. So in the spring, we ended up competing against those teams because, like I said, they're not that far away, and it's good competition that we won't normally see during the regular season. So, we had a good spring.
You mentioned Cam Udenham. She'll be a sophomore this year, as you spoke about. Freshman of the year in the conference, freshman of the year in the region, too. Hit 363 kills, a school record for a freshman along the way. I'm sure that's nice having her come back. So let's talk about the offense in 2025. It would have to start there again.
Yeah, so, we're looking forward to Cam's sophomore year. She had a pretty good spring. And I think the first year was her just trying to get used to playing at the collegiate level. And certainly she was able to show more during the spring. And again, this coming year, she'll be a little bit more experienced and has a little bit more training. So, we're expecting big things from her.
Coach, about that too, are there any other players around her? You were saying that she was getting her feet wet there. Are there some other players that come along and shore that up?
Well, Taylor Parker is kind of moving along. Taylor was also a Rookie of the Year in the conference when she first came to us, and first team all-conference player. And so she's kind of moved along. And this past year, she was Player of the Year in the conference and was named All-American. So Taylor will be a junior in the middle position. And so she's already on her way to setting records in that position.
We're visiting now with Pat Kendrick from Xavier, Louisiana here on Midwest Sportsnet. And I encourage you, please take the time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. Coach Kendrick, also the athletic director for the university too. And I know there are a lot of hats to wear, and I'm sure there's no downtime, even though there's an off season for volleyball, no downtime because you have to keep up with everything. The big thing in the news, by the way, for Xavier just coming out within the last few days is conference realignment. You all are heading to the southern states for 26-27. Tell us a little bit about the news.
Well, we're very excited. We've had a great time in the Red River. They've been great to us, and we will this season, majority of our teams will continue to compete in the Red River. Indoor track and field for men and women and competitive cheer will be affiliate members with the southern states. Because Red River doesn't have those conference championships. So they'll be with the Southern States this coming season. But, the rest of the teams will be finishing out our commitment with the Red River.
You were talking about Taylor Parker just a moment ago as we go back to volleyball now, and Player of the Year in the conference, led the conference in blocks per set with better than 1.2 blocks per set. And looking over her season, looked like she could have had even more than that. Just a fantastic player in her own right. Tell us a little bit about the defense, both at the net, then with her and some others, and your back row.
Well, defense starts at the front row. And so you mentioned Taylor having a good year. And we also had Kennedy Bell, who was one of our other middles. Ken K-Bell, we call her. She made the honorable mention all-conference team, and we had Kennedy Campbell, who was a freshman for us this past year, made second team. And so, they did some nice things for us up in the front row. In the back row, now we graduated Roxandra Flores, who was one of our liberos. So we graduated her, but we're looking forward to some players stepping up into the back row position with Rux graduating.
I know that there will be an opportunity at setter as well. I had the conference setter of the year. She's moved on. Who's maybe stepping up, or are there some transfers?
Well, Charity Metcalf will be a senior. And so Charity's kind of been in and out of the lineup. And so, we certainly expect her to come out and play hard like she usually does. And we've got a couple of freshmen, that are kind of moving up too. So, it'll be a competitive position for sure.
All right, Coach. We appreciate getting to know more about your athletic department, your university, and we'd like to get to know a little more about the coaches. The question of the summer this year has been favorite 80s song or 80s band?
Well, I'm more of a Diana Ross Pandora Station, One Direction Pandora Station person. So I like to get a mixture of things. I don't know if I have any particular band in particular, but I would just say that's kind of my genre. Is the team kind of knows if they're riding in my van on a road trip, it's either the One Direction or the Diana Ross Pandora Station. All
right. Well, then they're getting used to some good music there. That's good. You're doing well, Coach. All right. The season gets underway then, not too far from now, probably, I guess, around a month and a half from this point then. And you don't have to travel too far away from home, at least for the first part. Wolfpack welcome, as well as the Big Easy Blast Off, those both in the New Orleans area. Travel over to Austin for the Houston Tillotson Invitational before the final trip through the Red River Athletic Conference schedule gets underway. Tell us a little bit about 2025.
Well, we've got some great players coming in, great players returning. So, we'll start preseason and kind of see what we have. And like you said, we can just go down the street and play at Loyola, which is a nice opportunity. They're actually going to be one of our Southern States competition teams. But, we like going to Loyola. Like I said, it's close by, and they're going to have a nice tournament for us. We're hosting the Blast Off, and we've got teams like Doane and Cumberland and Blue Mountain coming in, Suno, which is just down the street. They're coming in to play. And then we're going to Houston Tillotson, who was with us in the Red River, but they recently have moved conferences as well, but they're hosting a tournament for us. So it's not too long of a bus ride to their place. And so we'll have some good competition and tournaments to start the season off. And then, we get into conference play, and then, Our Lady Lake is still going to be one of the teams to deal with. And Texarkana, University, Texas A&M, Texarkana is going to be another team for us to deal with. So we'll still have some really good competition, even though we've had a couple of teams leave the conference. So we're looking forward to that.
All right. One more time through, one more opportunity to pick up that conference title if you get that chance. Coach Pat Kendrick here on Midwest Sportsnet. I thank you so much, Coach, for taking time with us today. We will follow the Gold this season, and success to you all.
All right. Thank you very much.